Hello everyone, welcome to GS Booster Short, your daily dose for GS preparations. In our today's lecture, we are going to talk about the recently concluded German national elections and India-Germany bilateral ties. India seeks for itself to be a global position and a global leader, position of a global leader, which is why our relations with other countries have become of more importance to us in today's time. This topic happens to be important from GS2's international relations perspective. So, Indian Express's today's explained section also talks about this very topic. The context has been provided to us by the result of this election, in which long-time German Chancellor, that is Angela Merkel's party, Christian Democratic Union, has come second to SPD. This Christian Democratic Union is a right-leaning party, whereas SPD is a left-leaning party. It is called center-right, basically. And 2021 also happens to be the 70th anniversary of the establishment of bilateral relations between India and Germany. India was one of the first countries to establish bilateral relations with Germany after the conclusion of World War II. So, let us first start by seeing our trade ties, which are of the most significance to both the countries and have been a driving force for our relations along all these years. So, Germany today happens to be the third largest exporter of the world, only after US and China, and India's largest trading partner in Europe. German FDI in India between years 2000 to 2019 has been to the tune of $12 billion roughly. And Indian companies have also invested closely $7 billion in Germany. 2015 के अंदर Germany started Make in India Mittelstand. It is written over here. Make in India Mittelstand program. Mittelstand का क्या मतलब है? Mittelstand means medium-sized companies. Basically, German medium-sized companies have been one of the most successful companies in the world. And despite of being medium-sized, they have contributed a lot to German economy. Now, this program aims to facilitate these companies to come to India and make their products over here. Apart from that, both countries are running fast-track system for facilitation of each other's companies. So this is with respect to our trade ties with Germany. If we speak of cultural ties, historically Max Muller was the first scholar of Indo-European origin who translated and published Upanishads and Rigvedas. Indian diaspora, which is also having a very great importance today. About 1.7 lakh people of Indian origin today live in Germany. Besides this, roughly 1200 to 15 students of India are also studying in German universities today. So what have been our ties so far? So we became strategic partners with Germany in the year 2001. Besides this, India happens to be one of the few countries with whom Germany has cabinet level intergovernmental consultations, which is IGC. So why IGC? Last concluded IGC, which was the fifth round of IGC, was in 2019. Germany believes in having cabinet level meetings and does not believe in having 2+2 meetings because it says that it sends wrong signals to the world. It is also vying for a rules-based order in the world. After coming of Donald Trump in White House, Angela Merkel was started being seen as leader of the first world, leader of the free world, with her policies of taking in refugees and likewise. So, what are our chief areas of cooperation? It is trade, global issues. With respect to reforms of UN, India and Germany are having similar stance. With respect to artificial intelligence and digital transformation, we have signed an MOU at the fifth round of IGC in 2019. Why digital transformation, cooperation in digital transformation can be fruitful to us? The thing is, out of OECD countries, Germany ranks 34th out of 38 when it comes to digitization. And with India's IT companies having a lot of exports to Europe, they have a lot of scope in this digital transformation of Germany. Now, what are our pending areas of concern? Chief pending areas. It is with respect to FTA, that is a free trade agreement. As we know that European Union is a single market, and today Germany and France are the most influential partners in European Union after Brexit especially. So, last FTA negotiations between India and European Union broke down on the issue of agricultural market liberalization. Basically, European Union wanted that India should open up its agricultural market for them. However, India's stand was that it will be detrimental for its farmers, especially the milk producing class. So, there is a lot of dairy products coming from European Union. It coming in the temperate zone, and its quality and rates are, quality is high, rates are cheaper in European Union. So, India was apprehensive that dairy farmers and dairy unions would come against it, because dairy today happens to be a source of subsistence income and a very important component of allied farming, which is why this FTA agreement could not have been taken forward. Now, India again seeks to revive these discussions with European Union. With respect to security, now this happens to be a very important area. Why? Because after France, Germany happens to be the second European country to have launched Indo-Pacific Vision. Yes, Germany has launched an independent Indo-Pacific vision. How this vision is not very much conducive to India's strategic policy. Basically, this vision emphasizes more on partnership with China and ASEAN in Indo-Pacific than with India. It is also because of strong trade relations and strong business lobbies in Germany. Besides this, as per this very vision, it does not see China as any strategic rival, but as a partner with whom they have to deal with. Also, this vision underscores the sort of emphasis that world community is giving to China's actions in Indo-Pacific, especially in South China Sea. Now, since Germany today happens to be one of the most influential countries of European Union, it is possible that Germany aims to boost its influence on the issue on entire European Union, because European Union's combined vision with respect to Indo-Pacific is yet to come. In 2019, European Union did give certain statements, such as that it called out China as a strategic competitor and a systematic rival. However, with respect to, then why has this change been with respect to Germany's statement? Basically, it appears that German political class has not been able to influence the business class over there, or because business class is having quite great interest in China and Southeast Asia, and they are not yet ready to move from China to India or to any other area. So, Germany today seeks to be a part of this external balancing of region without exercising any real power. External balancing of Indian Ocean region, that is, or I would say Indo-Pacific, without exercising any real power. Basically, German interest in this very region only extends to securing of trade routes. However, when we speak of German power, naval power, it does not have much presence in this very area. It has rather a small navy with respect to other countries which have been operating in this very area. So, we have to see and deal with the new German leadership as to how its policy should be molded and how it can be made more conducive to our strategic interests also. And it should be important for us to be able to influence Germany and make them taken into account the larger issues with respect to China in Indo-Pacific region. That will be all for our today's lecture. Should you have any doubts, feel free to put your doubts in the comment section. Thank you and have a nice day.